Hi everybody, welcome to World Swamp. This is Fat Frog, and today I'm going to talk about some nerfs that have happened in Ark Scorched Earth. So just in the background, I'm just going to go ahead and gather up some resources while we talk about this. I really hope you leave a comment, and if you like the discussion, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I don't think the base stats have changed that much, but one thing I didn't really think about until I started getting the Kibble farm going was that a lot of the creatures in Ark Scorched Earth don't have Kibble like they do in the regular Ark Survival Evolved. That means the taming effectiveness is going to be reduced, therefore they're not going to tame out at as high a level, and then they won't be able to reach as high a level after you level them up. And the creatures that are going to be affected in Ark Scorched Earth are the Argentavis, which is really sad because it's one of the most important creatures in the game, and it took Stego Kibble. The Sabertooth took Bronto Kibble. The Ankylo took Dilo Kibble, as well as the Doedicurus. The Gallimimus, I always have a hard time pronouncing that one, had Demetrion Kibble, and the Parasaur had Pachy Kibble. So those things are going to be limited and reduced. So let's take a look at the stats according to a calculator that I found online. I'll put the link to it in the description. So if you knock out a level 120 Argentavis, it was going to take you 35 Stego Kibble, and that was going to allow you, with all the default settings, to tame it out in 2 hours and 5 minutes and 58 seconds. It would go from a 120 to a 171, and then you would have reach a max level after doing all leveling up at 234. So you'd have a really good animal. Now, if you went to prime meat, you would have 94 prime meat. It would take you almost an hour and a half longer at 3 hours and 31 minutes and 30 seconds. It would go from a 120 to a 147 and max out at 210. So that's going from 234 on Kibble to 210 on raw prime meat. Now, it's pretty hard to keep raw prime meat without spoiling if you don't have the spoiling timers changed. It spoils very, very fast. So you might not be able to tame it all the way out on prime meat. I was able to tame some low-level things with mostly prime meat just because there's so many Carnos around. You can constantly go back and forth, take out a Carno, bring back the 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5, 6 raw prime meat. You can put it in the inventory of your tame. I did this with a Sabertooth. And so I was probably able to tame it out with about half raw prime meat. So anyway, back to the Argentavis, with raw prime meat, so that would take you 94. And so it would be really hard to find enough Carnos constantly during that 3 hours and 31 minutes to tame it up completely on raw meat. So now if we drop down to just raw meat, it's going to take 280 of those. It's going to take you 10 hours and 30 minutes. That's just horrible and impossible, really, to hang out on the computer that long and tend to your animal, especially with Ark Scorched Earth being so dangerous, with so many nasty creatures that can spawn in around you and kill you or your tame. It's really, you can't go AFK. And then that's only going to take you up from 120 to 125, so not really much of a gain there, and you're only going to be max out at 188. So 35 Stego Kibble isn't really all that hard to come by in Ark Scorched Earth Evolved. And so taming something out and getting that maximum after, ranking up is going to get you 234, and in Scorched Earth it's only going to get you 188 on just standard raw meat. And so that's kind of a nerf. And that's a loss of 46 levels, which I think is quite a big deal. It's going to take you a lot longer, and it might even be impossible. You have a greater chance of dying, or your tame getting killed or hit and then losing even more taming effectiveness. And again, that's due because there's no Kibble available in Ark Scorched Earth, and also the meat timers are just incredibly bad. So you want to use preserving salts to get those extra few minutes that you can out of that raw prime meat. And I talked about this in another video that I did that I'll also link in the description, that they've sort of been nerfed in this way, probably not necessarily by design, but just as the way things work, because they don't have Stegos in the game. Maybe they'll put them in at some point, or maybe they'll use another animal for Kibble, like the Thorny Dragon or whatever. I really hope they fix those spoil timers, and I also really hope that you enjoyed the video. I really want to hear what you guys think about the spoilage times, the lack of Kibble, and the potential nerf. So leave a comment, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.